Ladies and gentlemen, life has its peculiar way of weaving threads together, doesn't it? People, long gone, suddenly find their way back into the tapestry of your story. Why, you ask? What draws them back to the orbit of your existence? There's an answer, though it may not always be one you wish to hear. They come again not by accident, but because they are meant to. Their return is no mere coincidence, it is the universe's deliberate whisper, a test, a reminder, a reckoning. You see, the only reason they'll come back into your life is that you've changed, or perhaps they have. Time has this magical ability to polish the edges of what was jagged, to soften the echoes of past words left unsaid. And so they return because there's something unresolved, something incomplete. But let me tell you this, their return is not about them. It's about you. But remember this, whether they come as friends, lovers, or even adversaries, their presence is a chapter, not the story. The power lies with you. You decide how their return fits into your narrative. Do they help build the future you desire, or are they a relic of a past better left behind? So when they come again, do not be shaken. Do not falter. Stand tall in your truth. If they are meant to stay, they will. And if not, let them drift away. You owe it to yourself to keep moving forward. After all, life waits for no one, and neither should you. Rekindling past connections is one of life's curious phenomena, a dance of emotions that pulls people back into each other's orbits when the timing feels just right, or, in some cases, unexpectedly wrong. At its core, the re-emergence of someone from your past signifies an interplay of unresolved emotions, mutual growth, or the need for closure. It is a moment that commands reflection, a pause in life's forward march to examine what might have been left unsaid, undone, or misunderstood. People do not return into your life without reason. Their reappearance is often a signal, an unspoken nudge from the universe that there's still something left to learn, experience, or release. When someone from your past re-enters, it's rarely an isolated event. It often carries the weight of shared history, a culmination of moments that once defined your connection. The reasons for this return can vary widely. Perhaps it's the pull of nostalgia, the longing to revisit a time when things felt simpler, happier, or more meaningful. Nostalgia has an uncanny ability to romanticize the past, drawing both people toward a version of events that feels worth rekindling. But nostalgia alone doesn't sustain the gravity of such a return. There's usually something more profound beneath the surface, a need to address the unfinished. Unfinished business is a powerful motivator. It is human nature to seek resolution, to tie up loose ends where possible. A relationship that ended abruptly or without closure often leaves a lingering sense of incompletion. Words unspoken, feelings unexpressed, or actions left undone can fester over time, creating a yearning to revisit the situation. When the other person feels this as acutely as you do, the universe has a peculiar way of orchestrating a reunion. This isn't to say every past connection needs resolution. Sometimes the closure happens silently within oneself. But when both individuals feel the same magnetic pull, it's often a sign that the relationship served a purpose yet to be fully realized. Rekindling a connection may also occur because of mutual growth. Time changes people. Who you were years ago is not who you are now, and the same can be said for the person returning to your life. Growth transforms perceptions, priorities, and emotional capacities. What might have seemed irreconcilable in the past may no longer hold the same weight in the present. Growth can soften the sharp edges of previous misunderstandings and open doors for reconciliation or renewed connection. When two people evolve in ways that align, their paths may naturally cross again, presenting an opportunity to rediscover each other in a new light. However, not all returns are driven by growth or resolution. Sometimes the pull toward rekindling is rooted in the need for validation or the comfort of familiarity. People are drawn to what feels safe, even if it's not always healthy. This can manifest as an attempt to regain control over a situation or to recapture the sense of belonging that a past connection once provided. While the motivations behind such a return might seem less noble, they are no less human. The desire for comfort, closure, or companionship is universal, and acknowledging this helps frame the reappearance with empathy rather than suspicion. The re-entry of someone into your life also carries an emotional weight that cannot be ignored. The shared history between two people creates a bond, whether positive or negative, that lingers over time. That bond, while often intangible, is powerful. It can draw two people back together to revisit lessons that were incomplete or to heal wounds that still ache. The emotional undercurrent of these reunions can be overwhelming, often leading to moments of introspection and self-discovery. Ultimately, the rekindling of a past connection is a mirror to the human experience itself, messy, layered, and deeply impactful. Whether it is driven by nostalgia, the need for closure, or mutual growth, such moments serve as reminders of how interconnected we truly are. Every return has a purpose, even if that purpose isn't immediately clear. The challenge lies in approaching these moments with clarity, empathy, and a willingness to embrace the lessons they bring. When someone from your past reappears in your life, it often serves as a powerful mirror to your growth. The return of an old connection is not merely about the other person, it is a reflection of how far you've come, how much you've changed, and what aspects of yourself still require attention. Life, in its intricate design, often places people back into your path to reveal the progress you've made or the areas where you still need to grow. Their presence becomes a lens through which you can measure the distance between who you once were and who you are now. Growth is an ongoing process, often so gradual that it feels imperceptible. You live through it day by day, adapting to challenges, learning from mistakes, and embracing new opportunities. But when someone re-enters your life after a significant period, their presence brings with it a stark contrast. They knew a version of you that no longer exists, and their return can highlight just how much transformation has taken place. Conversations that once might have been fraught with misunderstanding could now flow with ease. Where once you may have felt insecure or unsure, you might now stand with confidence and clarity. Their return allows you to see your own evolution, often in ways you hadn't fully acknowledged before. The reappearance of a past connection can also reveal whether you've truly let go of old wounds or are still holding on to unresolved emotions. Imagine someone who once caused you pain or disappointment walking back into your life. Their presence might stir up feelings you thought you had buried long ago. This is not a sign of regression, but rather an opportunity to confront and heal those emotions in the light of your current self. The way you react to them now, whether with forgiveness, indifference, or renewed boundaries, speaks volumes about the emotional maturity you've gained since their absence. Conversely, the return of someone you shared positive experiences with can serve as a reminder of the values and priorities that have guided your growth. Perhaps they represent a time in your life when you were more carefree, ambitious, or authentic. Their presence might reignite qualities you've lost touch with or inspire you to reconnect with parts of yourself that still hold meaning. In this way, they become a catalyst for self-reflection, urging you to realign with the person you want to be. The mirror they hold up to your growth isn't limited to emotional or psychological changes, it also encompasses the practical aspects of your life. Have you achieved the goals you once discussed with them? Have you moved closer to the vision of success and fulfillment you once shared? Their return can act as a checkpoint, a moment to assess whether you are living in alignment with the aspirations you held when they were last a part of your journey. It's not about comparison or judgment, but rather about taking stock of your progress and making adjustments where needed. However, this reflection is not one-sided. Just as their presence highlights your growth, your presence does the same for them. They too have evolved, and their return is a testament to the dynamic nature of human relationships. You may find that your differences have grown wider, signaling that your paths are no longer compatible. Or you may discover that their growth complements your own, opening the door to a renewed connection built on mutual understanding and respect. Either way, the interaction reveals truths about both of you, truths that might otherwise have remained hidden. In these moments, it is crucial to approach the situation with mindfulness and self-awareness. Their return is not about rekindling the past, but about understanding the present. It's an opportunity to embrace who you've become, to celebrate the progress you've made, and to address the parts of yourself still in flux. Whether their presence is fleeting or enduring, the lessons they bring are invaluable, reminding you of the ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. When someone re-enters your life, it often feels like a twist of fate, but more often than not, it's a deliberate test of your strength. Life has a way of circling back, bringing people from your past to challenge the person you've become. Their return can feel unexpected, even unsettling, because it forces you to confront not just who they were, but who you were when they were last a part of your story. This reappearance is not random, it's an invitation to examine how much you've grown, how well you've healed, and how strong your boundaries and values truly are. Tests of this kind are not always easy to recognize. At first, the return of a familiar face may seem comforting, even exciting. Nostalgia can blur reality, making the past seem rosier than it was. But beneath that surface lies the true reason for their re-entry, to see if you are still tethered to old patterns or if you've learned to break free. It's as if life whispers, "Are you really as strong as you think you are?" Let's see. This test is not about passing or failing, but about revealing the truth of your growth. It's about how you handle their presence now compared to how you would have handled it before. Their return may challenge you emotionally, particularly if the relationship ended on difficult terms. Imagine someone who once hurt you deeply showing up again, perhaps with an apology or a desire to reconnect. In that moment, you are faced with a choice. Do you let them back in, risking the possibility of reopening old wounds, or do you stand firm in the strength you've built since their absence? This is not a question of forgiveness alone, but one of self-respect. True strength lies in discerning what aligns with your current well-being and having the courage to choose it, even if it means saying no. Another dimension of this test lies in your ability to recognize patterns. Life has a way of repeating lessons until they are learned. If someone's return feels eerily similar to a situation you've faced before, it's likely an opportunity to approach it differently. Perhaps in the past, you allowed their opinions to overshadow your own, or you sacrificed too much of yourself to maintain the connection. This time, you're being given a chance to rewrite the script. It's a moment to show that you've grown wise enough to break the cycle, to act in alignment with your authentic self, rather than out of fear, guilt, or obligation. The test of strength isn't limited to interpersonal dynamics, it's also deeply internal. The emotions their return stirs, joy, anger, longing, or regret, are a reflection of your inner landscape. How you process and respond to these emotions speaks volumes about your emotional resilience. Are you able to face these feelings head-on without being overwhelmed? Can you separate the person from the lessons they bring? Strength lies in your ability to navigate these emotional currents with grace and clarity, understanding that their presence is less about them and more about the evolution of you. Ultimately, their return is a mirror held up to your soul, revealing the progress you've made and the areas where you still have work to do. It's a chance to stand tall in your truth, to honor the person you've become, and to reaffirm the life you are building. Whether their presence is fleeting or enduring, their role in your journey is to help you see just how far you've come and to remind you of the strength you carry within. When someone from your past returns to your life, one of the most critical aspects to consider is their intention. Why are they here now after all this time? Their motives might not be immediately clear, but they are essential to uncover. Understanding why someone is re-entering your life allows you to discern whether their presence will uplift and align with your growth or disrupt the peace you've worked hard to establish. The intentions of others can be a mystery, wrapped in layers of emotion, history, and circumstance, but your ability to identify and respond to them is a reflection of your wisdom and self-awareness. Not every return is noble, and not every person who walks back into your life has your best interests at heart. Some people return with hidden agendas, seeking to fulfill their own needs without considering the impact on you. They might be looking for comfort, validation, or an escape from their own struggles, viewing you as a safe harbor rather than as an equal partner in the connection. While it's not inherently wrong to seek support, their approach and the balance of the dynamic are what matter. Are they offering something in return, or are they simply taking? Your ability to recognize the difference is crucial to maintaining your well-being. In some cases, people return because they've realized your value. Perhaps time and distance have given them a clearer perspective on what you brought to their life. This can be a humbling experience for them, and their intentions might genuinely stem from a place of respect and a desire to rebuild what was lost. However, even in these situations, discernment is key. Are they willing to put in the effort required to repair and nurture the relationship? Or are they simply looking to benefit from your presence without doing the work? Genuine intentions are often accompanied by actions that reflect accountability, growth, and a willingness to meet you halfway. There are also times when people return not because they've changed, but because they expect you to remain the same. They might assume you're still the person they left behind, still willing to tolerate behaviors or dynamics that you've outgrown. These individuals may resist acknowledging your growth, trying instead to pull you back into a version of yourself that no longer serves you. Their intentions, though not necessarily malicious, can be disruptive if they conflict with your current values and boundaries. It's in these moments that your strength and clarity are tested. Conversely, some returns are purely opportunistic. Perhaps they see the progress you've made, the peace you've cultivated, or the success you've achieved, and they want to be a part of it. Their motives might be driven by envy, insecurity, or a desire to benefit from your hard work. These intentions, while subtle, often reveal themselves over time through their actions. Pay attention to how they treat you, what they ask of you, and whether their presence feels supportive or draining. Trust your intuition. It often picks up on the energy behind their words and actions before your conscious mind does. Yet it's important to approach every reconnection with a degree of empathy. People are complex, and their motives are rarely black and white. Someone may return with mixed intentions, driven by both a genuine desire to reconnect and unresolved fears or insecurities. This is where communication becomes essential. Asking direct, honest questions about why they've returned and what they hope to achieve can provide clarity. Their response, both in words and in actions, will reveal the true nature of their intentions. At the same time, understanding their intentions also requires you to reflect on your own. Why are you considering allowing them back into your life? Are you acting out of nostalgia, loneliness, or a fear of confrontation? Or are you genuinely open to exploring a renewed connection? The clarity with which you understand your own motivations will help you navigate their return with confidence and authenticity. Ultimately, the intentions behind someone's return are not always immediately apparent, but they tend to reveal themselves over time. Your responsibility is to remain vigilant, discerning, and true to yourself. Not everyone who reappears deserves a place in your present or your future, but those with genuine intentions can bring lessons, healing, or even new beginnings. The key lies in knowing the difference and acting in alignment with your values and the life you are building. When someone re-enters your life, one of the most critical considerations is how their presence affects your peace. Over time, as you grow, heal, and cultivate your life, you inevitably develop a deeper understanding of what peace means to you and how essential it is to guard it. Not everyone deserves access to the sanctuary you've built, and recognizing who aligns with your energy and who doesn't is a vital part of maintaining your well-being. The return of someone from your past is a moment to evaluate whether their presence will enrich your life or disrupt the harmony you've worked hard to establish. Your peace is sacred. It's the state of balance and clarity that allows you to navigate the world with confidence, focus, and emotional stability. Achieving it often comes after enduring challenges, heartbreaks, or toxic dynamics that taught you what you no longer want to tolerate. When someone from your past reappears, it's natural to feel a mix of curiosity, excitement, or even apprehension. However, the most important question to ask yourself is whether their return will honor the peace you've created or threaten to undo it. Not everyone who comes back into your life has the same intention or energy as before, and it's essential to recognize this. Some people may have grown, changed, and evolved in ways that complement your journey, while others may carry the same patterns of behavior that once caused chaos or pain. Guarding your peace means assessing their energy with honesty and discernment. Pay attention to how their presence makes you feel. Does it inspire calm, joy, or a sense of safety? Or does it stir anxiety, discomfort, or unease? Your intuition often speaks volumes about the impact they will have on your inner world. The process of guarding your peace begins with boundaries. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about defining the terms under which they can be a part of your life. When someone returns, it's an opportunity to evaluate whether they respect the boundaries you've established. Are they willing to engage with you in a way that feels healthy and balanced? Or do they push against your limits, testing your resolve? People who genuinely value your presence will honor the boundaries you set, while those who don't may reveal themselves as being more focused on their own needs than on mutual respect. Another critical aspect of protecting your peace is understanding that not every return needs to be welcomed. It's easy to feel a sense of obligation to rekindle old connections out of nostalgia, guilt, or the belief that everyone deserves a second chance. However, the truth is that some people are better left in the past. Their role in your life may have been significant once, but that doesn't mean they have a place in your present or future. It's not about harboring resentment or bitterness. It's about recognizing that your well-being takes precedence over maintaining relationships that no longer serve you. At the same time, guarding your peace doesn't mean closing yourself off entirely. Life is dynamic, and people can change. Someone who once disrupted your balance may have grown in ways that align with your values and energy now. The key is to approach their return with an open heart, but a discerning mind. Take the time to observe their actions, not just their words. Consistent behavior over time is the most reliable indicator of whether someone will contribute to your peace or disturb it. It's also worth acknowledging that guarding your peace requires self-awareness. Reflect on what peace means to you and what it looks like in your life. Is it the absence of drama, the presence of support, or the ability to feel emotionally safe? When you're clear on what peace feels like, it becomes easier to recognize when someone enhances it or detracts from it. This clarity empowers you to make decisions that honor your emotional and mental well-being without hesitation or guilt. When someone reappears in your life, it's also an opportunity to reaffirm the value you place on your peace. By choosing to prioritize it, you send a powerful message to yourself and to others that your well-being is non-negotiable. This not only strengthens your relationship with yourself, but also sets the tone for how others will treat you. People who respect your boundaries and appreciate your peace will naturally align with your energy, while those who don't will fall away. Ultimately, guarding your peace is an act of self-love. It's about protecting the life you've built and ensuring that the people you allow into it are those who support your growth, joy, and harmony. The return of someone from your past is a moment to reflect, evaluate, and choose consciously, always with the understanding that your peace is worth defending at all costs. When someone from your past reappears in your life, it's often an opportunity to confront unfinished lessons. Life has a way of bringing people back into our orbit to illuminate unresolved patterns, unhealed wounds, or incomplete growth. Their return is not always about rekindling the relationship, but about what their presence can teach you in this new phase of your journey. These moments are rarely coincidental. They are intentional markers from life, offering you a chance to see where you've evolved and where you still have room to grow. Unfinished lessons often reveal themselves through the emotions someone's return stirs within you. Perhaps their presence brings back memories of a painful time or reopens wounds you thought had healed. These emotions are signals, not setbacks. They highlight areas where healing may still be incomplete, where forgiveness either of yourself or the other person is needed, or where clarity and closure are overdue. Instead of avoiding these feelings, embracing them can lead to profound growth. The discomfort they bring is often the key to finally resolving what was left unresolved, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. At times, the lesson is about recognizing cycles and patterns in your relationships. Have you allowed the same behaviors to play out with different people? Has this person's return reminded you of dynamics you've worked hard to escape? Their reappearance can serve as a mirror, reflecting not only who they are but also who you were when they were last in your life. It invites you to examine whether you've outgrown the dynamics that once defined your connection, or if you're at risk of repeating the same mistakes. This awareness is crucial in breaking patterns that no longer serve your growth. Sometimes the lesson lies in learning to let go. Not every return is meant to lead to reconciliation. Some people reappear as a test of your ability to release the past without bitterness or regret. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the significance of what you shared. It means releasing the hold that the past has on your present. Their return might be a chance to say the words that were left unsaid, to find closure in a way that wasn't possible before, or simply to acknowledge how far you've come since they were last in your life. Conversely, unfinished lessons can also reveal themselves through opportunities for reconnection. Some relationships end prematurely, not because they were inherently flawed, but because the timing wasn't right or the people involved weren't ready. When someone returns, it may be a chance to explore whether the lessons you both learned in your time apart have prepared you for a healthier, more meaningful connection. This doesn't mean diving back in blindly. It means approaching the situation with a clear understanding of what has changed and what needs to be different for the relationship to thrive. A crucial aspect of confronting unfinished lessons is learning to differentiate between the person and the lesson they represent. Their role in your life may have been significant, but their presence now is not necessarily about them. It's about what they evoke within you, whether it's strength, vulnerability, forgiveness, or resilience. Their return is a catalyst, pushing you to confront aspects of yourself that might otherwise remain hidden. Recognizing this allows you to engage with the situation from a place of self-awareness and purpose, rather than emotion or impulsivity. These lessons also challenge your capacity for self-honesty. It's easy to fall into patterns of denial or avoidance, convincing yourself that the past doesn't affect you or that their return is insignificant. But the truth often lies in what you feel most reluctant to face. The unresolved feelings, unspoken words, or lingering doubts that surface in their presence are opportunities for growth, provided you are willing to look at them with courage and openness. Ignoring them only delays the inevitable. Confronting them paves the way for transformation. Ultimately, someone's return is rarely about picking up where you left off. It's about using the opportunity to learn, grow, and move forward. Whether they remain in your life or fade away again, the lessons they bring are a gift. They challenge you to reflect on your journey, acknowledge your growth, and address the areas where you're still evolving. In doing so, you honor both the person you were and the person you're becoming, transforming unfinished lessons into stepping stones toward a more empowered, enlightened version of yourself. When someone returns to your life, it is a moment ripe with possibilities, but none greater than the chance to redefine the dynamic. Time changes people, it alters perspectives, shapes priorities, and deepens understanding. The relationship you once shared, whether it was one of love, friendship, or even conflict, belongs to a version of you that no longer exists. Their reappearance is an opportunity to rewrite the narrative, to set a new tone, and to decide what role, if any, they will play in the story of your present and future. Redefining the dynamic begins with clarity about who you are now. You have grown since they were last a part of your life, and your needs, values, and boundaries may have shifted significantly. The first step is to anchor yourself in this new reality, to approach their return with a strong sense of self. This foundation ensures that any decisions you make are rooted in your current truth, not in the echoes of the past. It's easy to slip back into old roles or dynamics, but doing so would deny the progress you've made. Instead, approach the situation with the confidence that you are in control of how the relationship unfolds this time. Their return offers a chance to establish or reinforce boundaries. If the previous relationship lacked balance or respect, this is your moment to draw the lines that were absent before. Boundaries are not about punishment or rejection, they are about creating a space where both parties can engage in a healthy, respectful way. Perhaps in the past you overextended yourself, accepted behaviors that hurt you, or silenced your needs to keep the peace. Now you have the power to ensure that any interaction aligns with your emotional and mental well-being. When you communicate these boundaries with clarity and kindness, you set the stage for a relationship that honors the person you've become. Redefining the dynamic also requires you to assess the other person's growth. Time may have. In the grand tapestry of life, the return of someone from your past is never a coincidence, it is an invitation. It is a chance to reflect on your growth, to confront old wounds, to test your strength, to discern intentions, to guard your peace, to finish lessons left undone, and to redefine dynamics on your terms. Their reappearance is not about them alone, it is about you and the life you are building. You have the power to choose whether their presence enriches your journey or detracts from it. You are no longer bound by the patterns of the past, and you are not obligated to reopen doors you've closed for a reason. This is your story, and every person who walks into or out of it plays a role in shaping who you are. But it is you who holds the pen. Let their return remind you of your resilience, your growth, and your clarity. Whether you welcome them back with open arms, set firm boundaries, or walk away, let your choice reflect the person you are now, not the person you once were. Above all, honor the life you are creating and protect the peace and strength you have cultivated. The only reason they've come back is to show you how far you've come and to remind you that your future belongs entirely to you. Thank you.